Okay, so I'm just going to jam out some Battletoads. I was going to continue with some Days Gone, but I just not long bought Battletoads, and I've got my Xbox set up, so I thought why not just record this for the time being, and show you what it's all about. So I've already finished the game, not 100%, but I've gone through all the acts. So yeah, there is four acts. And each one, okay, looks like Act 1's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so yeah, that's sort of like different numbers for each one. There seems to be a lot in Act 3, and then less in Act 4, which is strange. But yeah, it is a really good game, so I'm just going to shut up and just play it, because it's really fun. I love the style, like the art style. It gets a lot of flack for its art style, but I actually really like it. It looks like a comic book. There's nothing wrong with that. I think like a lot of people, I love pixel art too. Like a lot of people complain because it's not pixel art, but it's like, you know, I bet if the Sega Genesis could pull off like comic book looking graphics, which it kind of did with Comic Zone. If you played that game, that game's a beast. Then yeah, you like I don't know if it was more crystal clear like this, I reckon they would definitely go this route with it. But they the Streets of Rage 4 remake
Being a bad guy is great.
was kind of comic book style, so
And no one can
it's pretty
tell
cool.
me
The
to wear a shirt.
storyline is
Oh,
interesting.
no.
Like
It's the mega famous
it wasn't why I
BattleToads,
bought the game.
including Zitz, the leader, Pimple, the strong
but-
one, and Rash, the sunglasses one.
it's kind of funny. Like it's got its
Enough
funny
talk. It's time
sort
to-
of
Best
humor,
kisser.
its own
Why
sort of
are you the
humor
best
to it.
kisser?
Maybe because I practice on my hand all the time?
That just means you're the best at kissing your hand.
Come on, there's more goons outside.
Right. So the one unique thing about this, in comparison to I'm gonna say Streets of Rage because that's a side-scrolling beat 'em up as well. I shouldn't really compare them because they're quite different games. This has obviously got like sense of humor, which is great. It's got fully animated cutscenes, which is something that I feel that Streets of Rage 4 should have done. I reckon that would have been brilliant. When I saw the intro to Streets of Rage 4, I was really excited. I was like, oh, maybe we're going to get like fully animated cutscenes and we can actually see Axel and stuff like kicking ass and you know, and sort of cutscenes and hear his voice and stuff, and Adam and stuff. But no, they didn't have that. They just had like these sort of stills with text, which is okay. I mean, it sort of, I guess it sort of doesn't ruin the image of the character. Maybe like if you hear their voices, it would kind of bum you out because in your head they didn't sound like that or something. I don't know. But yeah, as for this, like another thing that makes it different is that the gameplay is totally different. Like this is a side-scrolling beat 'em up level, and in the later levels, like there's different ones. There's one where you're riding on a hover bike. There's one where you've just got to run really fast, and there's platformer segments and things like that. And it's pretty cool. Actually, like I kind of like how there's even one area that's like a space shooter, which is quite cool. So it's just a training level, sort of like the first mission, telling you how to do stuff. It's a little bit more complicated than, I guess you could argue, it's a little bit more complicated than Streets of Rage, and that can either be a good or a bad thing, depending on what you prefer. I actually quite like it, sort of thing, but I'm also in the mood to just, you know, do a bit of side-scrolling and beating up bad guys, which is quite cool. But this game is pretty hard. There are some parts that frustrated me. One of the missions later on where you've got to hack the enemy's like computer or something like that really kind of annoyed me because it just you don't really know what the hell you're doing. when even with the like instructions on the screen, it's sort of like, oh okay,
Look
like
out!
what am I actually doing? I haven't played multiplayer with this yet. I've played co-op with my sister on Streets of Rage 4 and I really enjoyed it, but I don't think she'll touch this one because
No way, Dorkshank!
I think she probably find it a little bit too complicated. I mean, it's a pretty simple game, but she's like, there's some games that she just, I don't know. I think Streets of Rage is probably just enough for her to handle. And I'm not saying that to be mean, like she genuinely, she's like, oh, she took one look at it and she's like, I don't know. But she should give it a go. I reckon she'd like it. Who knows? I'm not gonna force it on her. She's like, it's either your game or it's not your game. There's a few games I look at and I'm like, nah, that's totally not me, and that's understandable. So, I do like to give them a go though. And I try and say a good thing about each game. Like there's not one game that I'd sort of not have good and bad things to say about it, even if it's a really crappy game. And yeah, depending on what you like a lot of people just like poo-pooed this for the graphics because it's not pixel art, but yeah, like I said, it works. It's quite cool, and once you kind of get used to what knowing what you're doing, you can kind of look past the frustrating parts and be like, oh yeah, it's quite good. It's a good price too. We've fetched 30 New Zealand dollars here, so that's actually quite a cheap price. It's sort of like half price for a full price game. Oh, actually no. Yeah, our full price games are really expensive. Yeah, our full price games are like $120. One of my biggest regrets in buying a game would be We Happy Few. I love the concept. I really love it. It's a really cool idea for a story. I think it was originally going to be like a survival horror game, but then Gearbox took over it and it started to become more of an open world sort of, almost like a Skyrim wannabe sort of game on a smaller scale. But yeah, it's okay for what it is. I don't recommend you buy it. I do recommend you buy this though if you're into side-scrolling beat 'em ups. But yeah, I just thought I'd play the game so you can like look at it, and if you like what you see, then you know, go ahead and get it. It's not like a incredibly sort of woke story. Like you don't get all this. You don't get just propaganda shoved at you over and over again. It's actually kind of refreshing. I think it has a little bit of a story, like getting into the story spoiler now. So if you don't want the story spoiled for you, then well, I'm probably not going to spoil it that much. In fact, it's not really a spoiler. It's sort of like, I don't know. It's maybe it is. I don't know. I'll stop beating around the bush and just get into it. Okay, 3, 2, 1, spoiler. Okay, so what happens is there's these alien thingies, and they pretty much take over, and they want to change the BattleToads, so they're not allowed to do a whole bunch of stuff that they normally do. So I mean, I guess that is kind of, I don't know whether you call it political, but I think it's definitely to do with a lot of not cancel culture, but what would you call it? Probably just, I don't know, censorship maybe? That might be what it's getting at, but that's a really important topic to tackle, and like I really think that this game sort of has a strong message behind it in that sense, but it does a lot with the humor as well, so it's kind of cool. I like it. It's a pretty sweet game. I in no way regret buying it, so. So what have I been up to? Off topic commentary now. So I've just been working on
Besides
base
punching
game.
too slowly.
I'm taking a bit of a break from it at the moment. I just did a high score table for it, which is what it really needed. I've been wanting to implement a high score table in my games for ages, and I just didn't think I had the brains to do it. Excuse me, I'm really tired. But yeah, I managed to do it, and I'm pretty stoked with how it turned out. I don't know how. Like, I looked up even tutorials on how to do it because I was that stupid, but turned out I didn't even need the tutorials because I did it without the help at all. So that was neat. Oh, here we go. Come at me. Oh, okay. Or don't. So yeah, I've just been working on space games. Sorry, I was trying to concentrate on fighting. Working on space game, trying to do my comic. I haven't done much work on that lately. I need to get back into that. So I've been just trying to take a break from video games and stuff like that. I'm pretty tired. I've just been like staying up late, working on like space game and like ridiculous hours, like till like 6, 7 in the morning sometimes, and I just been really burning the candle at both ends and really feel like crap for it. I foolishly stayed up too late last night, and yeah, I should be sleeping now, but thought I'd do a video. And I did a shout out to Ice Cream Man, because yeah, I really want to encourage other creators out there who want to get their work out there, because yeah, I think creativity is important, and you know, when people are sick of the politically charged crap and want like a decent story, you know, for a decent animation or comic book, or whether they want a, you know, or good solid sort of independent music, or you know, indie games or indie music where people's passions are. It's not just like something you get in a factory. It's, I like to call it like sort of factory product, because you know, in the industry and stuff, it's everything seems to be more like a factory. It's not really any love or passion in there. It's just sort of like crunching numbers and doing stuff for the money. Whereas people that are passionate will continually do it as their passion, and let's hope that never changes. So yeah, I really want to encourage that. I'm featured on sorry, keep yawning. I'm featured on Lorenzo Sleestak's live streams. I'll put a link to his channel in the description below. I've been in a few of his live streams. Basically he's doing the same. He's getting a bunch of guests on the panel, and they talk about what they're working on and things like that. So it's like a live stream. You just come on and say what you enjoy doing and that, and show off a bit of your work, and it's really neat. I really want to get as many people on board as possible when it comes to you know, talking about your work. So Miss Art Garden, if you're listening, I'd quite like to see more of your work and get you to talk about your work, and yeah, and what made you sort of get into drawing, and why you chose that medium over, you know, other types. And when are you gonna finish your comic book? I'd really like to see that. But yeah, I know life gets busy. I know things happen, and you know, but it'd be really cool to see more of your content.
We're gonna get you out of that bunker.
Sorry, I am so. Oh man, if I edit out all the yawns, it would be like ridiculous. I've only had like not even 3 hours sleep. I don't even know what I'm still doing up, to be honest.
No, not this time. Just me?
I had Space Game in a really good spot, and then I played with it too much and screwed it up. I've got backups of it, but like, oh, I've got to go in and see what I did wrong, and it's like, do I load back from a previous save, or do I like just work out what's going on? Because I don't know, it might be a problem even with the earlier saves. I don't know, it's weird. But hopefully I can sort that out. It's in a really good spot. Otherwise, though, it's like in the best spot it's ever been in. So I'm just gonna code in some custom control stuff if I can. So if you're using the keyboard and you're uncomfortable with the arrow keys and the spacebar, then you can then change the key layout to whatever you want. It'll be like press this for up, press down, press left, press right, and when you press the key, it'll save it. That's what I ideally want to do. But yeah, and also if you plug a controller into the computer, you can use that as player 1. And the player 2 will be using the keyboard, so yeah. So player 2's controls are W, S, A, and D for up, down, left, and right. And you press control to shoot. But if you're playing with a gamepad, like a controller plugged into your computer, then player 2's controls will be switched automatically to player 1's controls, so just the arrow keys and spacebar.
I thought the promotion was pretty much
So these parts are kind of cool, but they're kind of annoying. I don't know. Little cutscenes.
And I told him I don't care about games from the 90s. Some things are just.
It's kind of cool. It's fun. It's funny, I suppose. So yeah, I don't really blame them for putting this in. This is what they've come to. They've retired. They're not doing fighting in that anymore. It's doing everyday regular jobs. Oh shit. Did I do good? I think I did. Get to the bike level and then we'll call it a day. After we've finished that.
I think we're being robbed.
He's got a teddy bear.
Anything worth stealing.
You're right. I'll go apologize. Knock, knock. Sorry, we're poor. Oh, it's just Rash wearing the diaper.
I solved it!
Solve what?
Come in, brothers. Are we brothers? We never talk about it. Doesn't matter. Take a seat, I'll stand. No. You stand, I'll sit. Everyone stands. Listen, I've been
He's got a
up all night
freaking
looking for methods
diaper
of
on.
TV detectives. Tracking, triangulating, enhance. And I pinpointed the precise location of the Dark Queen.
Could you pinpoint a dumpster and burn that diaper?
This is the Dark Queen we're talking about, remember? She nearly destroyed the galaxy, I think? But we beat her up, which sent her and I want to say spinning into space, and we can do it again. Who's in? Zip,
That's right. I think she was in the
Sorry,
first game.
I'm a masseuse now. My fists are for pleasure, not pain.
And I'm lead attacher at the email factory. We're moving on.
Moving on to what? Our sink is busted? The pipes are frozen? There are train tracks in our living room!
No. We have good jobs and a roof over our heads. I'm not ready to get captured again.
Well, I'm not ready to be irrelevant. I'm not ready to live my life as just another toad. But mostly, I'm not certain that I could.
I don't know what that noise is outside. It sounds weird.
Okay, Rash, we're in. Let's go build you a brand new audience.
You really mean it?
You're damn right I do. Now, where do we find the Dark
Sounds
Queen?
almost
Not
like
where.
electrical or something.
Time travel? No, we'll leave when I've cleaned myself up. Then we're renting turbo
Had some weird
bikes,
crap
baby!
happen the last like few days. Living out in the country, you get I just had 2 freaking goats come up on our porch and just start trying to eat Mum's plants. And I'm like, get out of it. It was so annoying. The little bastard looked at me right in the eye as well. I opened the window. It's right outside my window. And he looked at me right in the eye. And I looked at him back, and he just started like, he started trying to eat it again. Oh, here's the bike level. He started trying to eat them again. I was like, oi! And he just, he took off, and then they came back. Like a while after, I was just trying to, I was like, oh, I'm gonna finally sit down and do a little bit of coding and figure out what the hell I've done with Space Game, and then probably go to bed because, you know, I haven't slept very well. And next minute I hear him again, and I'm like, what the hell? It's those freaking goats. So I go out there, I open the window and I scare them off, and I go out there and I'm like, oi, get out of it. I start running towards them and they run away. I'm like, yeah, you better freaking run, freaking goats. Does anyone else have to put up with that? Like, or is it just me? Like, is it just living out here? I swear it's the bizarrest thing. And it gets weirder. Like the day before, we got ducks that come around as well. And I don't mind them so much, but my mum hates them because they crap all over the porch. But yeah, they freaking lay eggs just randomly, and there's like 2 eggs in a row. I went out the other day. There was 2 eggs like in a line out in the front lawn. I'm like, what the hell? And we took them in, and we're gonna. Like, we've been eating them in that. Mum's been using them for baking and stuff. It's really cool. Gotta love me some home baking. But yeah, homemade chocolate chippy cookies. And yeah, it was actually really, like, they're actually really nice eating too, the duck eggs. But yeah, it was just real funny because, like, in what neighborhood do freaking ducks lay eggs on your lawn and you just go out there in the morning and there's freaking eggs there? Oh crap. I thought I was doing too good for a second there. I was like, oh. Okay. Yeah.
BattleToads, it's Chet from Chet & Sons Turbo Bike Rentals. My sensors indicate you're driving like a bat out of heck.
This part's really hard. I actually had a bung controller when I first did this. It kept drifting to the right. I took it apart and used some nail polish remover to clean it.
Hope it doesn't come to that.
What am I doing with nail polish remover? Well, it wasn't mine. It was, I think it was my mum's. So I don't actually use nail polish. God damn it. I'm not like that. I'm not a dandy. We'll say, in the polite way. So yeah. Okay, this is getting really intense. So you notice I've shut up because it's actually really hard. I missed the crystal. Damn it. Oh well. Screw it. Every man for himself. Ooh. I'm freaking out now. You can imagine how frustrating this was with a bung controller that pushes you to the right all the time. You just can't do it. And that's why I was like, oh, screw this, I'm going to clean it. So yeah, I took it apart and poured some nail polish remover in there. Oh, phew. And it seemed to do the trick, so because I'm using this controller now, so it's not drifting. So that's good. I shouldn't be alive right now. I don't know how I am. Oh,
I warned you, Toads. Now my beautiful boy.
yeah, so this isn't an easy game at all.
Turn my backs. This is my business model. He sounds pretty annoyed.
You know what they say.
Don't trust obviously unstable anthropomorphic toads?
This is a callback to the original game where you had to ride on a hover bike, and it was really hard. But I reckon some people said that this is just as hard as the original one. I'm like, no way. Like, at least this one gives you checkpoints. The other one didn't. You had to start the game from the frickin' beginning when you died. Like, that's absolute hell. This is just like, oh yeah, it's frustrating, but you start off, you start back like at the checkpoint you get to, and the checkpoints are fair. Like, it's not like it just starts you off like exactly where you died or anything. They're in good spots. It's been really well thought out. I quite like it. It does get to the point where it's like, where the hell's the end of the frickin' road? Oh shit. I'm probably gonna die here. This is really hard. No. And it's quite fast loading, so you don't have to bother waiting for a loading screen, and then next minute you're back on the road again. So that's good. The secret to a frustrating game is to have short loading times. You can get away with a lot. If you can get back in the action straight away, that's a good idea. Oh my god, the end is like literally just there. This is like Cuphead, this kind of stuff. Have you played that? Yeah, maybe it's not that hard, but it's just that right sort of difficulty to be a pain in the ass. Oh, well, I got another guy, so who cares? Just don't crash. Just don't. Oh, it's right there. If I just get past those 3 pillars, it's the end of the freaking level. No, I'm not getting past that. Oh. Ooh. I think I just made it. Oh no, wait, that's right, there's these pink parts. Oh no. Okay, I hit the checkpoint, so I should be okay. Forgot about these parts. Oh, that was stupid. Okay, cool, got a checkpoint. It's pretty fun though, even though it's like frustrating as hell. I didn't play this bad last time I played it. It's just really hard to concentrate. Whew. Okay, wipe the sweat off your hands. No! Cool. So I missed the 2 crystals that I needed. That's okay. I can just play through this again and again until I get it. Even though by the end of it you're like, to hell with that, I'm not coming back to that for a while. Oops. Whew, and that's the end of it.
Hello, Toads. I made my sons delete their posts. The truth is, my business is failing.
I want to have a good
Destroy those
Days
turbo
Gone
bots.
gaming session where I just play for like over an
My
hour
sons
again.
were too beautiful
That's
to learn
really
a
fun.
real trade. Please, return my bikes. This is Chet from Chet & Sons.
What's he so worried about? The bikes look literally the same as when we started this journey.
Alright, so yeah, that is that. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. just a little look at Battletoads. Again, I highly recommend it. So if you think you like what you see, then definitely purchase it. It's a good game. Alright, well I'll catch you in the next one.